The morning the Duke arrived, sunlight spilled across the marble steps like a blessing meant for someone else. The courtyard shimmered with dew and expectation, and in that bright hour a father made a choice that would bruise one daughter and nearly erase another. He told the Duke to take the pretty one, to choose the girl whose smile was practiced and whose laughter traveled easily. He pointed with confidence, believing beauty was currency and obedience was love. No one noticed the second sister standing just beyond the fountain, hands folded, eyes lowered, learning once again how to be invisible. If you believe in kindness and second chances, please take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel One Heart Stories. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The rejected sister's name was Eloan Hale, and she had grown in the quiet spaces of the house where sunlight softened into dust. She was not plain, not truly, but her beauty was the kind that revealed itself slowly, like a field after rain. Eloan carried the weight of her mother's early passing and the steady pressure of comparison, the constant reminder that her older sister Seraphine was the one meant for grand rooms and grand futures. Eloan learned to be useful instead of admired. She mended gloves, memorized accounts, tended the herb garden, and read until the world felt larger than her family's narrow hopes. On the morning of the Duke's arrival, she wore a simple blue dress that caught the light when she moved, though no one was looking. The Duke of Ardenfell had a reputation that traveled faster than his carriage. He was said to be reserved, sharp-eyed, and tired of being admired for his title rather than known for his character. When he stepped into the courtyard, the day seemed to pause around him, not from fear but from attention. He noticed details others missed. He noticed how the fountain's trickle quieted birds, how the servant's steps slowed, how the father's smile carried a tremor of calculation. He noticed Seraphine's practiced grace, the careful tilt of her chin, the way she watched herself being watched. And then he noticed Eloan, standing apart, sunlight brushing her hair as if it knew her. The father's instruction landed like a stone dropped into water, sending ripples of assumption and certainty. The Duke listened, nodded once, and looked again. He saw how Eloan's hands bore small scars from work, how her gaze moved not to him but to the sky as if measuring weather and patience. He sensed a steadiness there, a resilience shaped by neglect rather than praise. In that bright morning, he chose against expectation. He chose the sister who had been rejected not with defiance but with intention, as if recognizing a truth that had been waiting quietly. The house fell into a stunned hush. Seraphine's smile held, but something brittle glinted beneath it. The father's confidence cracked into confusion, then into an anger disguised as courtesy. Eloan felt the choice like a sudden warmth and a sudden fear. She had spent her life preparing to be overlooked, not selected. Her challenge was not whether she was worthy, but whether she could believe someone saw her worth without needing her to perform for it. The days that followed unfolded in daylight, in gardens and libraries and long walks where the Duke observed more than he spoke. Eloan struggled with the echo of her upbringing. She flinched at kindness, mistook attention for obligation, and braced herself for disappointment. Yet the Duke's presence was steady, not demanding, not dazzled. He asked about her interests, noticed her knowledge of plants and history, and listened when she spoke without interrupting. In those sunlit hours, Eloan's guarded heart began to loosen, thread by careful thread. Challenges rose quietly. Whispers threaded through the estate, questioning the Duke's judgment, painting Eloan as a charity case elevated by whim. Her father grew distant, calculating the cost of his misjudgment. Seraphine's resentment cooled into a silence that cut sharper than words. Eloan learned to carry her head higher not because she felt superior, but because she finally felt seen. She wrestled with the fear that she would fail this chance, that her old habits of shrinking would betray her. But each morning brought proof that the choice had not been a mistake. The Duke valued her counsel, sought her perspective, and trusted her steadiness when plans shifted and pressures mounted. As the season warmed, the estate changed. The herb garden flourished under Eloane's care, becoming a place of afternoon light and quiet joy. The Duke's work gained clarity, his decisions grounded by a partner who saw beyond appearances. Together, they learned that love was not the absence of struggle but the courage to meet it in daylight. Eloane's transformation was not sudden or dramatic, it was honest. She learned to accept praise without apology, to speak without fear of being too much or too little. The rejected sister became a woman choosing herself. Near the end of the story, if it has touched your heart, please take a moment to engage with the video. Your likes, shares, and subscriptions tell us these stories matter. The morning of their union dawned clear and bright, the kind of day that feels like a promise kept. The courtyard shimmered again, but this time the light felt earned. Eloane stood not as an ornament but as a presence, her blue dress catching the sun as if it had always belonged there. The father watched with a mixture of regret and awe, realizing too late that beauty measured by surface alone is a poor compass. Seraphine, quieter now, learned that admiration cannot replace substance. Before we end, special request, please comment below with the word chosen if the story resonated with you. Eloane stepped forward into her future, not rescued, not elevated by chance, but recognized. The Duke's choice had rewritten more than a destiny, it had revealed a truth hiding in plain sight. In daylight, the rejected sister became the one who taught a house, a title, and a watching world that the truest beauty is the kind that grows when someone finally looks closely enough to see it.